What's going on, guys? I just want to give you a quick walkthrough of the ARC Analytics dashboard account creation flow. And there are a couple of things we're going to talk about, but one thing I'm going to try, let me first hide all this so that we focus on the flow. So I'm going to zoom in right here. And one thing I'm going to maybe highlight, borrowing from like the previous dashboard compared to the redesign, which I'm about to walk you through. So previously on the old dashboard, we had only one account structure. So one account that works for every scenario, which was quite limiting. But then I think in the new dashboard or the redesign, what we did was to have 3 account structures. So one account structure is the Airco branded, and then below that it's what you would refer to as the organization that owns that account. And then we have a public, account structure where we open up access to almost everyone. Everyone doesn't have to create the account first to access data. So we have like somewhat like well-optimized data for everyone, for the public. And then the third account structure is the white label. So if you happen to have like an organization that wants to do away with the Airco branding, we have that scenario catered for. So I'm gonna walk you through the public account structure right now, which is quite I would say it's like the first step for someone to create an account. Because remember, they start off without an account, they get a test of our data, and then they decide whether they want to create an account. So when someone visits the website or the Airco website, the primary call to action is to explore data. Right now, explore data has 2 steps, but one of the solutions is to do away with all those steps after getting feedback from users that those are too many steps in between to access data. So right now, when it happens, the user will click explore data and they will be taken to the Airco dashboard, which looks something like this. So we'll always be figuring out what to put in as a context of that screen. But like the navigation looks basic and simple. So we have 3 tabs. One is the home, and then we have LAN. So after LAN, they can go ahead and maybe toggle down to see more. So if they click LAN, we'll give them like maybe some like quick onboarding tips on how to use the dashboard, but also like trying to lay out the vocabulary of air pollution. So when they click that, they still can access more information there. When they toggle down analytics, we take them to the live website, which looks something like this. So you can see live data, so they can see different places around the world in real time. So when they click air clouds, they get to see something like this. So essentially air clouds, most of you guys are familiar with air clouds. This is just a label for how we cluster different like locations into a group. So they can see some different like say air clouds within the Uganda air clouds, say Kampala, Fort Portal. These are different like graphs. But these are not like the final graphs. So we just like giving like a demo of how this would look. So after they click that, say they attempt now to click sites. When they click sites, a couple of things will happen. So this is the time when we prompt them to create, the account. So they decide, okay, let me create the account. So they go from this step to this step where we ask them whether they are individuals or they are part of an organization. So once they choose either of the 2, we have 2 scenarios. I think this is where it's split, but I'm gonna focus on the individual side of things. So once they select individual, we take them to another screen where we ask them to fill in the details. And it's quite important to get like the first name and the second name because it's gonna help us really figure out how to design access for them. They are quite like unique identifiers. I don't know why I'm even talking about like the first name and the last name, but essentially we want like them to create like an account with the password, email, and the names. We ask them to agree on our terms, and then after that, of course, this is just like a sample of the flow. We send them an email just to try understand whether this email is not a bot. It's just like validation essentially. So when the email goes out, this is just like a sample of how the email would look. But I think the content team is working to improve this. Then from the email, like when they use this link, we'll bring them to another screen where we ask them like more information about their need to create an account on the Airco, dashboard. So they can, select more than one field here. So essentially, this is how we've been designing access in the background. we're using these labels as a way or as unique identifiers to help us really figure out like what they can access. So we don't want to overwhelm them with everything. This is the new approach we're taking right here. So step two, when they, I think when I don't know which step is this, but like when they finish, when they, let me see, from the email, yeah, from the email, it's step. I think there are two steps. One step when once they select the three, options, or two or one, then we congratulate them for the the achievement. And remember, initially when they were selecting sites, we couldn't allow them. So one thing that happens as soon as they create their account, we show them the sites they wanted to get access to. So this is the site, just like really showing like some impression of how sites would look. I mean, like the same process happens for organization. You will see that in the public, dashboard, we don't have like that organization structure. And then when you slide down in the organization, account structure, we have that organization predefined right there. And it's kind of like the same flow. I think they are quite two important steps when it comes to organization. For the organization, they have to give us the email of that organization. Number one, we treat this email as the account owner's email. So we see that it's an organization, and then they fall through the same process, go validate their email. And then once they get here now, they give us some details about their organization, and we ask them whether anyone with this kind of domain belongs to the organization. And then after that, we just like proceed and congratulate them and then bring them to the dashboard. So that is the difference of accounts creation for individuals and account creation for organizations. Let me know what you guys think, but that's how far we've managed to get with account creation. I hope this kind of gives you an idea how we pushing this product forward. Thanks.